Okay.
Call is now being recorded.
Yeah, the recording has started. So I think it's 4-1. We can start. Let me first give a brief on what DYD Cafe is all about. So we started this as a platform to connect dreamers. Passion meets purpose is our calling, and we strive to connect dreamers throughout the world. We aspire to build a network of social relationships by motivating and inspiring people through the stories of dreamers who have achieved their dreams through the choices they made and the paths they paved. If you really look at it, a large majority of us struggle to find our true purpose and live a meaningless life. We long to do something, but we are unable to do so due to several reasons. DYD aims to give you a necessary push in the right direction because more often than not, we are hesitant to take this step. We wish to create a ripple effect that will help you move forward and endeavor your goals. Through this platform, we hope to steer you towards your passion and let it align with your purpose. And every week for the last 8 weeks, we have been bringing a guest dreamer. And this week, this is our ninth episode. And we have a very special person, Sunil Koshi, a techie turned singer, music director, and vocal coach. So he's the founder of From Mark to Mike. He started this organization about 5 years back, and this is a platform for bathroom singers. Sorry, it is not 5 years, it is more than 7 years. And he created this platform for bathroom singers and has trained over 8,000 bathroom and amateur singers around India and abroad. Like many of us, he was a techie. He was, in fact, a compiler developer, those who are in the IT field, at Intel. And then he left for Chennai to learn music for 3 years in a Gurukulam. Later, he did come back and work with organizations like HP, Unisys, HCL. In parallel, he pursued music. And finally, he decided it was time to quit and he became a full time musician. He has worked with legends like Hariharan, K.S. Chitra, Kumar Sanu, and many top musicians and lyricists of the country. Sunil Koshi has composed music and sung for movies, albums, dance dramas, and also acted in a couple of cameo roles in South Indian films. He's an award winning musician and singer and has been featured and interviewed on most leading newspapers, TV, radio, and including medias like CNN, IBN, the Times of India, Economic Times, Hindu, Your Story, among others. So we have a very special person today. And to take this meeting further forward, we have our guest, the host, Neha. Neha, over to you.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Sunil sir, thank you so much for being here with us today. I would like to move on to the questions. As a musician right now, what I'm curious about is, has music always been your dream, or is it something that developed as you went on?
All right. So first of all, good evening, all of you, and thank you so much for being here. Uh, Thank you, Vinish, for the wonderful introduction, and thank you, Neha, for hosting. Music has been my dream since very young. Though as a kid, I would just sing. So I just started singing like that. There was probably no real dream as a kid. Maybe it was to become a doctor or be the MD of a company when I was a very little kid. And then when I started singing and winning prizes, slowly music did become a dream.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we can only see half of your screen. Can you please fix it properly? Yeah, it's better.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Is this good? Is this
I mean,
better?
Yeah,
yeah.
this is
So,
good.
It's fine, right?
yeah, yeah.
All right. All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so
Welcome.
you were an engineer before you pursued a career in music. So, what gave you the courage to quit your job and just plunge into it and pursue your dreams completely?
All right. So first of all, I'd like to say it's not a perfect journey. So nothing was really planned as such. Uh, I think it was just a deep desire within, always to do something in music, um, to achieve something big in music, which was not really clear initially. But then I did my engineering like most kids would probably do, to be safe. It's good to be a doctor or an engineer, and then and then probably you can figure out. So just like that, I finished my 12th. I was a good student till 12th. I, in fact, actually hoped to become a doctor. So I didn't get through the entrance exams, and then I uh, got into engineering. When I started my engineering, I they developed the interest for music also developed the keen interest for music. Though I got into actual music learning only much later.
Okay. After your engine, I mean, after you worked for a few years, you completely devoted your life to music in a Gurukula. I mean, how would you say that experience was?
The experience in the Gurukula.
Yes.
All right. So I had always read about great musicians, singers, uh, living in a Gurukulam, living with a guru, uh, doing only music, and only practicing music and doing nothing else. So this was kind of a dream that was always in my head. In fact, initially there were two dreams after I finished my engineering: to get a good job, and Intel was actually one of the top dream jobs. And after I got that, it was very difficult to actually learn and practice music. So hence I took the decision of getting into a Gurukul. Getting into the Gurukul and to actually practice music for the whole day, I realized soon that wasn't very easy, because when you actually have 24 hours on hand, it's you might waste your time just doing something, uh, just going around or hanging around. So I tried hard to make a discipline. I started practicing about 10 to 12 hours every day. So which meant I had to sleep early. I made sure I would wake up at 4 in the morning, practice for a few hours, go for a walk, come back. And I tried as hard as possible to maintain a disciplined practice regimen. When I was not practicing, I would sit with my gurus, attend concerts with them, read music books, even read other books, interact with other musicians. So I made sure everything was around music mostly.
After you came back, you did not immediately start a career in music. You worked for a few years, but you also pursued
That's
music.
right.
So, how did you maintain the balance while you were doing both?
So honestly, though now it looks like a balance, it was pretty much juggling, and every moment seemed uncertain. So even when I quit my job, it was not really planned. It was just that after 10 years, I think the only driving force or the factor was that I said to myself, after 10 years, I shouldn't regret saying that if I had tried, probably I would have become a singer or would have done something in music. I said, let me not say that after 10 years. Let me give it my best shot, and then I'll at least feel happy that I've tried, and it's okay if I don't make it, because when I tried to quit, a lot of people were against. I mean, of course, family. In fact, I hadn't even told my eldest brother that uh, I quit. He came to know much later when my interviews were featured on some papers. Uh, and then, yeah, I got back after a 3 year stint in the Gurukula because I ran out of the savings that I had. And in Gurukula, I was not pursuing a career in music. I was just learning music.
Right. Okay.
I just wanted to learn, explore music, and then actually never looked out for any opportunity. And I realized how difficult it is, even if you're really good, or you have learned quite a bit in arts, as compared to having a secure job. You realize the end of the month when your salary comes in with a secure job, that's so nice. In fact, a lot of musicians were surprised and they were like, why would you quit a full-time, a nice IT job? Because musicians and a lot of artists are struggling here. Why are you doing this? So I mean, I think the other side looks greener and looks fancy, though the journey looks fancy only if you have done something. Otherwise, it's a disaster. So, so then I realized it was time to get back, probably, uh, and try searching a job, because it was after a long gap. I wasn't sure. I just came back. I thought I'll brush up some skills, but then I got a first interview call pretty soon and also landed that job. So that was an HP.
Yeah, you started from scratch when you started learning music. So, and then
That's
you
right.
when you came back. So, what were the difficulties you faced when you came back full time into music? Like, what were the difficulties you faced when you switched your career completely?
You mean the final switch?
I mean, you can tell us about the difficulties you
Okay, so
faced
I
all
have
along.
so if you look at my IT biodata or resume, that was uh, you know would have actually been the most most surprising kind of a profile, which had breaks. And in the break I also said I was out on a sabbatical learning music, and I came back because like I said, I wanted to uh, start earning some money and then see how I could probably balance. You asking me about the final switch out of
I
IT
mean,
more
you,
specifically, or
that's the first time when you went to the difficulties you faced when you left your IT job to go to the Gurukula. So you said
so
you faced, you
yeah,
said
that
your
was not
family.
quitting was not difficult because I had decided. So
Okay,
I think that's a lot easier when you don't ask people. In
right.
fact, a lot of close friends told me, see, man, there's only one Kumar Sanu, there's only one Yeshudas, there's only one Jagjit Singh. In fact, very close friends, I mean, who really wanted me to do well.
Right.
Uh, Parents were okay because they knew there was no point trying to convince me. So, so they kind of started losing hopes when, I kept doing whatever I wanted. So, in fact, even when I quit my job, the senior HR had asked, so where are you going? Which company are you going? So I told him I'm going to a Gurukul to learn music. So he was like, is it a conscious decision? So I said, yeah. I think it's exciting that way because when you don't know what's ahead of you, every day is a nice surprise. And then as long as you're doing what you want to do, I think it will always be a surprise. It's not actually wanting to be a rebel, but uh, doing just what you want to do and figuring out things on the way. Like I said, because I'm also not from a typical musical family, everything about music, learning music, who are the gurus, how do you pursue something in music, everything was new. So it was a pretty uphill task. The only thing that I had was a bit of singing that came naturally, which was not at all enough for the professional kind of thing. Of course, I won contests in school, college, and all that, but I soon realized that that was not enough if you had to make a profession in music.
I mean, yeah, you were a star from when you were a child, and you went ahead to prove that. now too. So you are also the creator of Reboot, and that was India's first audio film, and you received a Kannada International Music Award for it. Can you take us through the process of Reboot and the experience of winning an award?
Right. So, what I realized, so when I got back to IT and tried to balance music, well, like I said, it's very difficult. Like people talk about work-life balance, or even more so, a hobby or something serious that you want to pursue with a full-time job is very difficult unless you're really focused and committed. So I tried recording some cover songs, medleys, yeah, trying to recreate some old songs with new music, and then I did a lot of music blogging. So those days we used to, that was the in thing. People would post their recorded songs on blogs. So that went pretty well, and I had quite a good number of followers. But I realized that this wouldn't be enough, and I realized the need to create original music. So that's when I started assisting music directors, creating some original songs. I did quite a few original music videos, and then uh, I realized probably I needed to create something really big. Hence, that's how this project called Reboot came into shape. We wanted to make it a little different. So when me and the music director discussed, we thought, how can this album be different? And then we thought, let's have 6 songs. And then we thought, let's make this the story of an IT guy or a techie. And the name, of course, came in much later. The 6 songs were like 6 phases in the life of a techie, a regular techie, not me, a regular techie. The first song was Last Day of College. The second song is where he gets his dream job in US and he flies to US. Though I haven't been to the US, but I think it's a very common dream. And the third song, he falls in love. The fourth song, he through the process. So the songs also had some dialogues and narration. So it was like a story narrated only through sound and music. And then there's a song on work pressure. It's a jugalbandi in Hindustani music with a lot of trance experiment. And then the fifth song was a breakup song because he's really busy with work. He breaks up with his girlfriend. He doesn't have time, so no balance there. And then the last song is called "I Shot the Boss," which it'll be revealed later in the song that it's the ego that he actually shoots. He shoots his own boss, which is his ego. And then yeah, this was sent to awards, and we were surprised. We were shortlisted in 3 categories: best music, lyrics, and singer. And we were shortlisted among some other big musicians in the industry and singers. And it was a surprise that I won, because we just went there, and when they announced the name, it was me. So I think that gave probably a first stamp, a first kind of recognition in the industry, or because when I did this, it was like, why are you doing all this? What will it get you? Is it worth spending all this time and money and effort? Because there were so many days that I would sleep in the studio, or go directly from work, go to the studio, spend the whole night there, sleepless, or sometimes sleep in the studio and then get back to work. So it was a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of creative ideas. Every day there are new ideas. So it was nice when the award came in, because it was a recognition in the industry. But that was probably just a milestone in the career, because you realize that after every milestone you have to still keep working, because just the milestone will not. It's not like in movies where you win an award and then you're flooded with offers, and and then life is set. though that's how I thought things would be then. I had dreamt of being featured on uh, top newspapers, radio stations, TV. So something started happening. I got featured on Times, the Hindu Times on Sunday on the main paper, and Hindu. A lot of top papers wrote, award came in, but then you realize that you still have to you know work hard, keep creating new things. Okay, maybe some people start recognizing you, or some people know about you, but then that's still very far from making it your profession.
Right. Yeah, you earned recognition at a very early stage, and you told us that when you achieve one milestone, the next one shows up, and then we set out to achieve that one as well. So you are
Exactly.
right now, you are the founder of From Mug to Mic. Where did you get the idea for that?
Okay, so it sounds like a very simple concept. In fact, it is a very simple concept. The whole idea is driven by the fact that almost everybody likes to sing, right? I think almost everybody is a bathroom singer. I guess most of you in this group also would at least hum in the bathroom, knowingly or unknowingly. Uh, yeah. So when you start your day, when you're, in the shower or getting ready, driving your car, you might just, I think we don't even realize sometimes that we're humming some song. Probably even the most serious looking person uh, might not admit that he sings, but I think everybody hums a song knowingly or unknowingly. And a lot of people love to sing. Okay. It's just that the majority sing only in the bathroom, because either for lack of time or lack of encouragement, uh, or they always thought it's too late now,
Right.
because it's school, and then after school, college, and after that you have to find a job, then you settle down, get married, then you have kids, you focus on your career, your family, and then where's the time? So all this. So when I observed all this around me, and I saw a lot of friends, colleagues uh, coming in and asking, I want to learn music. Where do I learn? What do I need to learn? So I saw that there was a big gap between people who wanted to learn music. I mean, the common man. Yeah, the common man who wanted or who wished inside that they could learn music, and the traditional systems out there. Okay, I think the traditional form of classical music seemed a little too complicated, or needed a lot more dedication and uh, perseverance time for a normal person to get into singing. And that kind of scares people. That's the reason we see a lot of people buy guitars, buy keyboards, and then it just remains in the showcase, or later, clothes are dumped on the keyboard and, uh, you know, piano. I'm sure there would be at least a couple of people in this group also. So it's happened to me also. We set out to learn something new, but then office pressure, something else, and the initial learning curve is pretty steep. When it comes to learning any new skill, and especially with singing, the serious kind of singing is a little challenging. So I thought a simpler format, uh, something like a workshop where it's just a one-time thing. It's not that you have to come in every week, 2 times, learn music and go. This was probably like a one-time thing. You can come, uh, learn something about singing if you really love singing. And we designed our workshop to happen in a recording studio. So that was the first time probably that um, you know a workshop was open uh, to amateurs, where they also got to come and see a studio, to see a studio to record, to actually get to record in a studio. So we also allowed them to record in a studio. You're able to hear me?
I think it was cracking in between, but now it's fine.
Yeah, you can hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the first workshop opened up the studio to the common man, the bathroom singer. Is it breaking or is it fine?
It is breaking. It's going in and out. But we can see you now.
Hello. Is it okay?
Hello.
Yeah, we
You
can
can
hear
hear me?
you
Okay,
actually.
all right. Thanks. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so this was the first time that a professional studio was opened up to amateur singers, bathroom singers, and we said no age bar. We said, are you a bathroom singer? And the only prerequisite is, you should have sung in the bathroom once. So that's it. And it was a short format workshop, just a one-time workshop for about 5 hours. And we just started. We just thought, let's do a couple of workshops and see, if people like it, if people find it's interesting. So that's all we thought. I mean, I really thought a lot of people would benefit from this, and that's the reason we started this. So after we got married, so this was in 2013, me and my wife Archana, we started from Up to Mike on the 50th day after we got married. And the first time we just put it up on Facebook, and it was friends and friends of friends who got to know about it and uh, registered. And fortunately, the first day we did our workshop, we were also featured on Bangalore Mirror. So Mirror had interviewed us a few days before that, and they thought it was a great idea. So sometimes, you just believe in, what you want to do, and uh, that's one thing we realized. You cannot really predict if an idea is really great, but then if you really want to do it, because um, I had asked a lot of friends, a lot of IIM, Ahmedabad, ABC kind of friends. I asked them, "Do you think it's a good idea?" So they said, "You never know; it might work." So too much analysis also, I think if you think too much, maybe it just doesn't happen. So we just thought, let's do one and let's see. So the first time we did, we had two workshops on the same day, and Bangalore Mirror featured an article that day. It was a Saturday, and we started getting a lot of phone calls. We didn't expect that. So right from morning 6, phone calls started coming in, and in the first week we got about 500 phone calls, and we weren't prepared to
Wow.
handle that kind of you know response, and we didn't know how to take down phone numbers, respond to people, and we had stopped entries for that day, and there were a lot of people wanting to attend, and then it spread through word of mouth in the first couple of weeks that we had to schedule the next couple of workshops in the coming weeks. So that's how we started from Up to Mike.
Wow, that's an amazing. I mean, it's an original creation and an amazing idea, and clearly you know that when all our aspiring musicians can come to you for your workshop. We have a lot of
Definitely.
questions from our viewers.
Oh, is it? Oh, I haven't.
Radhalakshmi would pardon.
Oh, I hadn't seen the questions. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, okay. I'm
I'll
just.
start with the first question.
Wow.
Radhalakshmi, at what age you started learning music?
What age did I start learning music? Okay. My first music lesson was when I was in my sixth standard. So I was born, brought up in Abu Dhabi. Till my 12th, I was in UAE. The first teacher taught me for some time, and then said, "Your voice is not good." Okay. So, that's also one lesson for everyone who's here, who's been discouraged by some teacher. Uh, my dad did the best thing. He said, "Stop learning from him." So I think
Okay.
that was the best thing that I did, because uh, I'm not saying all teachers are like that, but there are quite a few teachers like that. He said, "Your voice is not good," and so I stopped learning. Though I kept singing, and I somehow thought my voice is good. I kept singing. I won prizes. So that kept happening. But my actual music lessons started after I finished my engineering. During my
Okay.
engineering, also, I did a little bit of learning some Hindustani music. And at that point of time, the way I saw music, the way I thought of music learning was pretty limited because being from South India, so you generally look at South Indian singers, you think of Carnatic music, and okay, and eventually, eventually, I realized that all forms of music are good, and it's important for an aspiring musician to learn different forms of music.
Right.
So after engineering, when I found my first job and started earning on my own is when I decided. So by then it was quite clear that I really wanted to do music, something in music, but what in music was still not clear. So, but I started learning music, and it was good because when you start earning on your own, you feel good that you can spend for your own music lessons, and
Right.
that's how I started learning. I went on to learn from more than 60 to 70 teachers. So I don't know if that might be a record. So I went on to explore a lot of teachers, uh, lot of different kinds of musicians and teachers over the years. Hello.
Okay. Thank you so much. Uh, Jaydev wants to know what are the career options in music and how to approach such a career.
Okay, are we on questions already? Or you're just
Pardon?
picking one question?
That's one question.
All
You
right.
can answer that. Yeah.
All right. Uh, what was that? What are the career options in? So that's Jaydev, right? And how to approach such a career? Well, I think now there is a lot of scope in music and the arts because there are different platforms for people to present themselves. I think it's much easier to reach out to people. Yeah. It is very important, however, for every artist to know their strengths. Okay. And be very realistic when it comes to what you're actually looking at. Uh, what you're looking at. If it's playback singing or so there is playback singing, there is composing, there is also parallel skills that musicians can develop, like learning to record. Yeah. So a lot of musicians actually became sound engineers because as a singer or as a musician, you don't get a job. Okay, this is a practical tip, a thing that a lot of serious musicians or aspiring wannabe musicians do. Because if you're an engineer, if you're a recording engineer, you might get a job as an engineer in a studio. And then there's also that advantage of getting in touch with other musicians or people in the industry. Okay, so that is one skill that alternate skill that parallel skill that people can develop. Other things are music arranging. Say if you're just a singer or composer, you can also parallelly try to learn music arranging, or if you're a singer, also try to learn an instrument. It's very so being a good singer or a good musician is different from being a popular musician, is different from being uh, a, a rich musician. So I realized this at a point a little later. So you can be a very good musician and still not get work. You might be having a lot of work, but you may not be that good. You might be popular, but it can be a combination of different things. Okay, so along with learning, along with being good, it is also important for an artist to showcase the right way, to present themselves the right way. Uh, Earlier, people would go for auditions, but these days it is also important that, like for example, I started doing my own work, my own music videos and albums. So I think it's very important for musicians to have their own creations that they can showcase.
Uh, Thank you for answering that. I hope that answered your question, Jay. A lot of our audience would like to hear from you, but I would prefer that if we did that towards the end of the session. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. Arjun wants to know how did you handle all your critics?
Arjun, right. Well, initially it is very disturbing. It's a nice question, Arjun. Uh, I'm glad you asked that question. So initially it is disturbing. So when you're growing, you see a lot of negative comments that might come in. Uh, so interestingly, from my workshops, there were very few, people who said they did not like the content or the way we did workshops, or what we gave. In fact, a lot of apart from bathroom singers, we also had a lot of musicians who had learned music. Also, eventually, we also had music teachers coming into our workshops. We had people traveling in from different cities. We had musicians. I mean, we had aspiring singers coming in from Goa, Kerala, Chennai, uh, different cities just to attend our workshop in Bangalore. So that kind of increased the responsibility on our shoulders, and we tried to make sure that what we gave was good quality content. But I've reached a point now where uh, critics, uh, it's important to listen to what people have to say and try to get better, because I'm still a student. I'm still learning a lot. In fact, half of my day is spent on learning from my gurus. I have quite a few gurus whom I'm learning from now, and then I teach. I'm into composing and other things. Now I think it doesn't really matter if people are just criticizing you, saying, there have been people who have uh, some even popular people who have told, don't go to him, or so. I think it doesn't matter. So I mean, as long as you're confident about what you're giving, maybe somebody may not like you, but it doesn't matter actually. And I honestly feel every artist should be appreciated and encouraged. I'm in awe of all the senior musicians, and I think I would never criticize anybody, because if somebody is genuinely putting in an effort to make a career, if somebody is original in their ideas, I think it's good. Criticism, uh, I think you don't care it over a period of time. It doesn't matter to me at all, as long as I'm happy with the kind of work that I'm doing.
Do you think positive criticism is good for you, or
Is that a question? Okay.
no? I'm asking you.
Okay. Uh, Positive, of course. Like I said, I am probably my biggest critic. When I started learning music, I would try to show my teacher that I'm good. Okay. And then much later realized that, that's not what I should be doing. If I'm learning, then I should expose whatever is bad in my music or in my singing, or, because otherwise I might have to learn it at a much later point of time.
Right.
So now I would like to know what I don't know. And I realize only with more learning comes the realization that, there's so much more to learn. So positive criticism, definitely. You know,
Yes.
anybody who, and I think I get that a lot from my gurus itself. They're constantly scolding me and saying, what are you doing? What are you singing? You know, you have to do more. So I think that way I try hard to keep the bar raised always.
That's very lovely, Sun. Uh,
Okay.
we have another question.
Mhm.
Because as most of the artists of yesteryears lived in penury, today a lot of money is involved if you are successful. How do you see yesteryear's musicians and the budding ones of today in a global scenario?
Okay. I've read and known of yesteryear popular musicians. I think the line I mentioned earlier. Very good does not mean you become popular or you get work, and very popular also doesn't mean you have a lot of money. So I think the scenario is quite the same even now, just that people have found ways to also make money,
Hmm.
which means that bigger celebrities, bigger stars are able to earn a lot more money than before, probably. So when you're branded the right way, there is definitely a lot of money, but there are still a lot of musicians who really uh, struggle very hard. So especially now with with the lockdown, there's no studio work that's happening. We have not been doing any recordings, shootings, so everything of that is on hold.
Hmm.
A lot of musicians have got into online performing, online teaching, but I think that's quite limited.
Right, that's true. Hmm.
So even now there are a lot of musicians still struggling with money. uh, People, there is still a lot of people who want art and music for a very low cost, uh, for free, for very less money. So I think that is still there. I don't know if I've answered the question, but this is kind of the reality.
Yeah, I hope that answered your question because we have a question from Manish. He wants to know, based on your experience, would you advise someone to take up music as as mainstream as their day job?
As that,
As
Vinish, okay.
yes,
Would you advise someone to take up music as mainstream as their day job? You mean to quit what they're doing and get into music full time?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been asked this question in a lot of my workshops, because we have a lot of young corporates, young techies, and a lot of people who really want to do something in music. They come and ask me, even I want to quit my job and become a full-time musician. Can I do that? So I would tell them, please do it if you think you're ready. Because like I said, when I decided that, it was only me that I listened to. Probably, even if almost nobody supported, but I think that decision should come from what you strongly want from inside. Practicalities and the ways you will discover to start, you know you will have to explore. You will have to really get into it and explore, because if you're in a full-time day job, maybe you're called for a recording on Monday morning. Yeah. So if you're in a full-time job, then you will lose out on opportunities. If you're in a full-time job, you will have to you'll be available only on weekends. So somebody who is really serious will have to probably take a chance and jump into it. That depends on how serious you are.
Okay, thank you. We have another question by Kushal Maurya. He says that often increasing age puts a pressure on you against chasing experiments towards your dream. Financial pressure, family pressure. How did you fight that?
I think that's a constant fight for every artist, Kushal. Uh, in fact, those are the things that pull you down. Financial pressure, uh, Like when I quit my job and when I was in the Gurukul, some days I would wake up and think, oh my God, what am I doing? Because I had quit a quite well-paying job at that point. That was a pretty good job, and you know, my friends started getting promoted, getting married. So all the peer pressure is also there, pressure from parents. Uh, but then it's like an adventure. They say, if you should look at life like an adventure. When there's an Oscar Wilde quote, I think. He says, I like to read something thrilling when I'm traveling, and so I carry my own diary.
Okay.
So I think every day should have that kind of a thrill. But if you are somebody who is willing to, you know, be experimentative and bold, so like I said, every day is a surprise. But if you believe that you can find a way out of it, you will find a way. Because even when I started Mug to Mic, a lot of people asked, this is a new idea now. What after some time, it'll grow old and then. So I said, I'm not thinking of it right now. I'll figure out a way when that happens. And then every day, every morning when I wake up, I have 10 new ideas. So maybe 100 new ideas and just one might work. But then, we've tried a lot of new things. There's a lot of money that's lost. There's a lot of risk involved. There's all kinds of things, and it's not like a regular corporate white collar job. So in the film music industry, things are not very straightforward. So sometimes people take you for a ride. So all kinds of things happen. So it's all that you learn only when you get into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Avi there wants to know how is the competition in your field and your experience and yeah,
Who's that?
Savvy.
Savvy.
Savida. Yes.
How's the competition in this field? Your experience, any messages to budding stars? There is a lot of competition and there is a lot of opportunity. Okay. Like I said, you have to be very clear as to what you want to do. I think that clarity is what will help. Clarity in terms of how good you are, what are your strengths, what are things that you're not really good at, and try to carve your unique position. I think everybody can find a unique position now because there's a lot of there are many platforms. There's internet connectivity. There are so many ways that you can actually showcase yourself. Of course, you will have to do some homework to make sure that you are pretty good in terms of uh, you know the competitors out there. You would call them competitors or not competitors, rather. We are artists, are all friends. We all actually encourage each other. So I wouldn't call them competitors. So I honestly and sincerely like and appreciate. I share work of a lot of artists. So if I think they are a competitor, I wouldn't do that. So I think you have to first be a good listener, a good human being. You have to genuinely enjoy art. Sometimes, on social media, you see some people don't comment, some people don't like your work. But then I think that doesn't stop me from interacting. I interact with different kinds of musicians, upcoming artists. We have also helped, maybe given platform to upcoming artists, even senior artists. There are a lot of there's a lot of good work. It's important to keep learning to be really good. So that is one very important thing. Because the moment you think that you want to stop learning, I think that's not a good thing. And work very hard. Really work hard.
Okay.
Try to be realistic in terms of uh, your strengths and what exactly you want to explore. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you
clear,
now.
clear.
You're able to hear?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
audible.
Sunil. Yes, Sunil, we can hear
Thank,
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay. We have a few of your students with us. I think
Oh, is it?
there was Adi who had said that it was nice to see you and stay safe, keep churning out good music. And Ravi Prasad also, they're all requesting you to sing a song. Like, wait, Adi mentioned he wanted to hear "A Zindagi Gale Laga
Gale
Le."
laga le.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
As zindagi gale laga
Ravi
le.
Prasad wanted
Uh,
and Ravi Prasad wanted to hear you sing
Karunada
uh,
tai.
Karuna.
Okay. So what do I sing? You have to tell me. A few lines of Zindagi, and then I'll sing a few lines of Zindagi.
Okay, sure. Yes.
है जिंदगी गले लगा ले, है जिंदगी गले लगा ले, हमने भी तेरे हर एक गम को गले से लगाया है ना, है जिंदगी गले लगा ले। छोटा सा साया था, आंखों में आया था, हमने तो बूंदों से मन भर लिया। छोटा सा साया था, आंखों में आया था, हमने तो बूंदों से मन भर लिया। तेरा सहारा मिल गया है जिंदगी, ला 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 ला। तेरा सहारा मिल गया है जिंदगी, है जिंदगी गले लगा ले, है जिंदगी गले लगा ले। Thank you. Oh, that's SK Prakash sir. Oh.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, RP. Nice to see some friends here.
Yeah. So I just a one line. I heard you first time singing Karnataka in engineering. Man, that was the first impression. I want to hear that song every time I see you singing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thank you so much, sir. That was amazing.
I can sing 2 lines of that if it's okay.
I think so. We have a few more minutes left, but after that we'll have to wind up.
Yeah. No. If I can answer questions or anything
It's
is
okay,
fine.
Sunil. You can answer
I
questions.
think they want to hear you sing once more.
Sorry. Okay, I'll sing 2 lines of the Kannada song that my friend asked. La 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 la, ಕರುನಾಡ ತಾಯಿ ಸದಾ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಿ, ಕರುನಾಡ ತಾಯಿ ಸದಾ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಿ, ಈ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವಾಲಯ, ಪ್ರೇಮಾಲಯ ಈ ದೇವಾಲಯ, ಕರುನಾಡ ತಾಯಿ ಸದಾ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಿ, ಕರುನಾಡ ತಾಯಿ ಸದಾ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಿ. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So a singer
We'll move on.
will always be asked to sing, no matter how much ever he talks. That's the moral of the story. So I think every budding singer should be ready for that. Wherever you go,
Right.
even so, I've had very embarrassing situations where you go to visit a friend who's admitted in a hospital, and and then they ask you, can you sing something, please? So it's so embarrassing. And there's also been situations where I was admitted for, a small leg surgery, and then somehow the nurses came to know, and then they all came and they were like, can you please sing for us? So initially you would think, are they making fun of you, or, so it's pretty embarrassing, but then you get used to it. So you become thick-skinned. I think it's very important for an artist. I've even performed to empty audience where there's a cocktail dinner served, in the other hall, and sometimes even musicians who perform in weddings, it's pretty difficult because people don't listen to them, people don't cheer. It's very hard. So those are a lot of difficult, embarrassing things that artists have to face. So I think you have to be prepared for all that if there are aspiring musicians here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the perks of being a musician.
Exactly. But it's a nice thing. I mean, when you see that people really like your singing, because there's nothing like a song, and I think singing is an amazing hobby. I saw that somebody said he or she will reach out. I think Balaji sir said he'd like to reach out. Please do. You're more than welcome, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I will take the last few questions for today.
Sure.
We have a question by Rashmi who wants to know, do you have opportunities for music therapy aspirants and other upcoming singers?
You mean opportunities in general, or opportunities from my side? So anything related to music, singing, you can definitely reach out to us, if that is the question, Rashmi.
Okay. Lloyd wants to know, how much time do you practice music every day?
Do I practice? Okay. I practice at least about 5 to 6 hours every day. Okay,
wow.
So it's like an addiction. So once you see that, it's I think the highest form of meditation when you get into that practice mode, when you're singing and practicing. It's like a prayer. It's like meditation. So you don't really count the number of hours. So I think you just enjoy that.
Okay. We have a question by Kushal. He wants to know, do you think it is necessary that your dream must mint money?
Not necessarily. As long as you have money otherwise, because I think money is necessary to live. So if you're pursuing some other profession and you have money, or you already have money, then it's fine. Some artists had said, some senior artists said, actually musicians or artists shouldn't bother about money. They should just pursue their art. But practically that doesn't happen, because an artist has to do a lot of things. They'll have to be a good artist. They'll have to promote themselves. They'll have to, these days, do a lot of social media marketing and everything.
That's true, yes. Okay.
But you can pursue a hobby or a passion just for the sheer love of it.
Okay. Before we close, can you...
Hi, Sunil.
Hi, Emmanuel. So nice to see you.
Yeah, so I used to hear a lot of song from you when we are working together. So today also I thought, okay, I can hear some music from you.
I sang, I think, few lines earlier. I think.
Yeah, I heard. I was there from the beginning.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. So I was telling that, okay, when we are working together, I used to hear a lot of songs from you. Maybe
Yes,
mostly every week or once in a month.
So Emmanuel has been my manager in my last company.
Okay, don't say because of me you started.
No. It's been a wonderful manager.
Thank you for your song also today.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Emmanuel. We'll catch up in person soon.
Yes.
Okay. Sunil sir, before we close the session, what would you like to tell our audience for today?
Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Vinish. For the audience, I don't know if it's specifically in terms of pursuing or in terms of following your dream. I think I already said that you cannot really be very planned or very practical in terms of when it comes to really dare your dream. I think you'll have to really jump into it and then be sure that you're going to do it. Okay, let nobody say that you cannot do it, and then I'm sure some not one way, you'll figure out 10 different ways to follow and pursue and achieve what you want, and also more than that. So I'm pretty sure that can happen.
Okay, thank you so much. Over to Vinish for the conclusion.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Sunil. That was a wonderful journey that you told about how you, turned into a musician from a techie, and it's a very inspiring story that you have, and yeah, it's not an easy journey, and chasing your dreams is not easy. I have captured a few points that I thought was very inspiring for me and maybe for our audience as well. I liked the question that HR asked you at Intel. Is that a conscious decision? Yeah, that's always people ask when you go behind your dream.
Right.
Is that always the thoughts? I also liked when you told there is only one Yeshudas, one Jagjit Singh. Are you sure? Again, this is something that we all get to hear when we go behind our dreams.
Exactly.
I liked when you told after a milestone you still need to work. Yes, we can't go behind the glory of the milestones. We still need to earn our bread.
Right.
And what inspired me about Mug to Mic is the your prerequisite. You have to at least be a bathroom singer, and that's a very powerful concept. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you so
uh,
much, Vinish.
when you told that your first teacher mentioned that your voice is not good, I suddenly, I don't know why, I suddenly remembered about Amitabh Bachchan. Yeah, and I also liked you how you continued a statement by telling that I felt my voice was good and I kept singing. Oh, that's so very powerful for all the dreamers.
Thank you. I'll
And
just add a line quickly.
yeah.
Sorry to take time. So there's a wonderful quote that I always share. A master has failed many more times than a beginner has even ever tried.
Mm, true. Yeah,
So
thanks.
failure. I mean, there's nothing like failure. I mean, failure is just moving. Success is just moving from one failure to failure without
True.
loss of enthusiasm.
True.
I think.
And I want to stop with one last point, which was something too new for me. Being a good musician is different from being a popular musician, from being a rich musician. Yeah, it's
From outside, they all
it's
look the
something
same.
incomprehensible. Yeah, you can't be always everything, but I think you are the combination of all those three.
Well, if it looks like that from outside, that's let it look like that. So every artist is a mystery. From outside, if you look rich and popular, then I think that's good. That's why it's called showbiz. It's showbiz, no? It's very important to showcase, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of flamboyancy, a lot of glitz.
Okay.
But
So,
that realization comes in pretty late, and then you realize that they're all very different things. You will need to have a combination of. You can't be bad and try to become popular or become rich. There's no point, no, because if you love music really, then you will first want to be a good musician.
True.
At least some people would want to listen to you and say, nice, we really enjoyed listening to you. And
True.
then comes other things, showcasing, and then how much you charge, how money comes in. Of course, those are also very important for to be a professional musician or professional artist.
Okay, thank you. So
thank you for summarizing.
Thank you,
Great.
Sunil, for joining us. It was so very amazing to hear you, and thank you, Neha, for taking us through this, and all our guests here, the dreamers here who join us every week. Thank you for being with us today, and I am very happy to have you all together. We'll meet next week again, next Tuesday.
Thank you. I wouldn't have thanked all the people who have commented personally, but thank you so much, everyone. There are some friends also who joined in. They also came on the video to say hi. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep dreaming. Thank you, Vinish, for the amazing platform.
Thank you.
I think a very practical way to inspire people.
Thank you.
Thank you.